Welcome to Spooky Fun Time, a show where comedians face their fears. Now, here's your host, Brent Reed.
Welcome back to the Spooky Fun Time podcast, a podcast brand new where comedians face their fears. I'm Brent Reed with my host, my producer, Brandon Legendre. I'm here with one of my best friends in the Austin comedy scene.
Suck a dick, everyone. I made the best friend list.
He made a name for himself in the Chicago comedy scene. He tours all over the country as a feature and headliner. His debut album, Town Kid, released at #1 on Amazon and iTunes comedy charts. He's the founder of Roast Battle Chicago, which has helped launch the careers of some of the best comics in the country.
Yes.
He's the former president of Iowa State University's Stand-Up Comedy Club, abbreviated as SUCK.
Oh, dude, you did your research.
Which he registered as a sorority, making him Iowa's first ever male sorority president.
I'm very proud of that.
Matt Banwart.
Woo! Yeah.
What's up, dude?
Dude, thank you. I love that intro.
Yeah, you loved it?
Dude, I love that. It's on my website, isn't it? The sorority thing?
Yeah, I just got all that off your website. I didn't do that much research.
Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah, I love that, dude. I'm so very proud of that. It's stupid. It's like such like a rundown bit. Like, yeah. I'm literally about to leave to go to a bachelor party to hang out with all my college friends. The two guys that we had a sorority house. My senior, we bought a house. We were like,
you had the Suck house?
Yeah, the Suck house. I'm literally about to go to my roommate about his bachelor party. The co-roommate of Suck house.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm literally about to go hang out with the Suck house crew.
That's great. You're from a small town in Iowa.
Yes, sir.
What's it called?
So I say Cedar Rapids. The town I went to high school with is called Mount Vernon, Iowa. But the town has grown significantly since I've graduated.
Yeah.
The high school has literally added on the high school is like physically 3 times bigger than what it was when I graduated. I don't know what the graduating class size is now, but the town's like just blown up.
That's cool.
Like last time I was there, I was like, what? Like, whoa. I was like, I don't recognize most of these. Like there's new housing developments. So I don't know. It was a small town, but it might soon become a big town.
What year were you born?
97.
97. So I'm bad at this, obviously. How old are you?
27.
27. Gotcha. Growing up, were you religious?
Yeah, religious in a rural Iowa.
What flavor?
Missouri Synod Lutheran, the one true correct faith.
Gotcha. And are you still?
I like how you took that so seriously.
Yeah, I did. Well, I was thinking about my next question. That is funny. The
I
one
love
true faith. They all think it's the one true faith.
Yeah, that's the best part, dude. My favorite thing is like, because like people in Iowa were like there's I think like 3 or 4 big churches in my hometown, and it was never like an outright rivalry, but you would kind of like, you know what I mean? You'd be like, oh, those fucking Episcopalians think they're so cool, but they're a blatantly fake religion made by the British monarch. They're so like you'd get like, so like I have like really niche stereotypes for all the Christian denominations.
Yeah. You're super smart.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say autistic.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
You retain information. Were you good? I mean, I guess this is on topic for the pod. We can get into fear stuff, but
I've got some small town stories to share. But
yeah, well, tell me some small town stories. Were you smart in high school?
No, I was really dumb. I was like stupid. Like I realize now, like I was in like the idiot math. I knew I was at the time
Brandon.
too. I was in idiot math classes all throughout like middle school and high school, and I hated it because it'd be just me and like all the fucking retarded kids, and they'd be like, "You're one of us," and I was like, "No, I don't want to be."
Yeah,
I was like, "I really don't want to be."
Tell me some small town stories. Were you ever? Are these scary stories?
Yeah, this first one kind of is.
Okay,
a little fun. We would break the law so casually in just like the weirdest ways, because we were all like, at least I was like, kind of like strangely puritanical, but we would do things that was just like mischievous you could kind of only pull off. Mm-hmm. For example, my hometown, it was a 1-room like movie theater, which is rare that a small town has a movie theater, but it was called the Bijou in Mount Vernon, Iowa. Great movie theater. If you're in the area, check it out. And they would only do like one movie at a time, and it was like run by like a couple who like, they were like independently wealthy engineers, and they kind of funded this movie theater out of the love of it. But towards the tail end of their ownership, because they've sold it since then. It's been sold, I think, twice. But they would hire like all my friends who were in speech. Like I was like a freshman or sophomore, and they were all juniors and seniors. And they would hire them, and kind of like they got the keys, they got everything, because there's only like a one. You would walk in, there's a concession stand, and then the next there was a wall, and then the movie theater. That was it. And the upstairs was like the projector room, and we would, after like speech competitions in high school, they'd be like, hey, let's just go to the movie theater, and we would break into the movie theater. Because we had the keys. Like they had like they had 3 employees, and they were all on the speech team. So we would just break into the movie theater after speech competitions and get like, not wasted, but we would like unlimited popcorn, unlimited soda, candy, like just steal from the movie.
Yeah, were you scared you were gonna get caught?
I all the time. I was like the only one. I was like, guys, there's a giant glass window. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone can look in. Like anyone driving by at like 1 o'clock could be like, why the fuck is there 20 high schoolers partying at the movie theater?
That's so cool.
It's kind of
That's
sick.
out of a movie or some shit.
Oh yeah, because we would just like, it was like so casual too. Like, and like we would always like, it was so funny because it was like we were kind of like lame, because it was the speech team.
Yeah.
We'd always be like, dude, we gotta get hot girls over here, and we were always like trying to like plan on how to get hot women to show up and see this kind of cool thing we were doing.
Did you tell me, did you have health issues growing up?
I've always been like a sickly kid. I'm always like ill with something.
No cancer, right?
No cancer. I have severe ulcerative colitis.
Gotcha.
But they thought it was cancer.
Ooh.
So when I transferred, I got a colonoscopy in Iowa, and then I transferred to Chicago, and the doctor in Chicago was like, hey man, we're looking at the results I got in Iowa, and we think this is like colon cancer and not ulcerative colitis. Like, we're just not sure. And so there's a 3-month span of time when I first moved to Chicago where I thought I had colon cancer. And like,
that's the worst one. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's
pancreatic.
You can cut out your colon, but then your life expectancy drops like significantly.
Yeah. So that was, you thought you were gonna die for like 2 months?
Yeah, and I didn't tell anyone. So I just walked around. It was 3 months. And I was like, I'm gonna die. This is fucking like, and I was just like, well, this is it. I moved to Chicago. I was homeless for the first 3 months in Chicago.
Do you think you're different because of that 3 months? Is this too therapy-ish?
No, I like that. No, golly. Hey, ain't this podcast fun,
yeah,
huh?
This podcast is silly and fun.
Dude, I like this one, man. Oh yeah, dude. I didn't even get to finish the movie theater story, but we're chugging along, dude.
Around.
You know me too well. You're diving in.
Yeah.
No, man, I don't know. I think I was pushing myself super hard those 3 months, because like when you realize like my life might change significantly when I get my second, colonoscopy. It's just crazy, by the way. It takes 3 months. They're like, you might have cancer. We'll put it on layaway for a financial quarter.
I guess they have to tell you that, but that's like
crazy.
That is crazy. Why couldn't they have just kept it from you for 3 more months and like figured it out? But I guess that's not.
I mean, they'd be like, to explain why, because like I was like poor, and I was like, I don't want to pay for another colonoscopy.
Yeah.
And
so they had to explain why you got to get another one.
And they're like, well, you probably should.
Yeah.
You probably.
Yeah.
Here's why.
I thought you were done with the movie theater story. I'm sorry. Well, you finished. So you broke in. You were always scared you were gonna get caught.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, we would like sometimes they would like set we'd play video games there.
Yeah.
But my parents were
like
really
on the screen.
Yeah.
Like a Super Smash Brothers on a movie theater screen?
Super Smash Bros. On a movie theater screen.
Oh,
like
that's so goddamn cool.
Oh, dude, in the comfy chairs.
Yeah.
I think we played Super Smash Bros. And then one time they played basketball. I was like, why the fuck are you playing 2K? Like,
yeah, that's not.
No.
I mean, I like a 2K, but
it was super sick.
That's not the coolest game you could play on that big ass screen. You know what'd be cool is like Guitar Hero would be cool.
Yeah, Guitar Hero would be kind of fun, and because it'd be super immersive. You have the movie theater surround sound system too.
Yeah.
What was cool about it is like I was trying to get to this is we'd always try to like get girls over, and I was like the youngest one, also like the bottom of the food chain in high school speech, which is so lame to be the lamest of the speech kids.
Yeah.
And I remember one time we got a bunch of girls over. We had like 3 or 4, and like everyone kind of like coupled up, got underneath their blankets, and I was just like in the back, like everyone was like, they were like, yeah, and they played Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, I love that movie.
Well, I'm like afraid of horror. I probably watched the first like 20 minutes before anything cool happened.
Well, Cabin in the Woods is very fun and satirical. It kind of flips horror movies on their head. So if you gave that one another shot, you would like it. I think it's very silly.
I couldn't tell what was good. I got to the point where like they cut and there's a government agency was revealed, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what it is there's an agency underground that basically makes horror movies essentially happen in real life. Like everything's controlled. So like they pump pheromones to make the teenagers horny. They at one point like a girl picks up a knife or something. You know how movies always like drop it? Well, they like send her a little electroshock and it makes her like drop the knife. And then there's like a thing where they make a trap door open and they're like, I think it's the wind. And they're like, and a dude was like, there's a stoner in it he's basically the viewer. So the stoner is like, how does that fucking make sense? And it's a very self-aware, very satirical take on. It's very good.
I would have actually enjoyed. It was the only time, because usually what happened is my parents would be like, you have to be home.
Yes.
They'd be like, you have to. I'd always hang out. Like all the other like really cool hangs I'd miss.
Yeah.
That was the one where they were like, you can hang out. Mm-hmm. And it was like a horror movie, and I hate horror movies. I'm like such a bitch. And it started to get scary, and I was like, I'm gonna leave, and I left.
The climax of that movie. Oh, you just left because
I
Cabin in the Woods?
Because I thought it was gonna get really scary. I didn't know. it was parody. I love parody.
Yeah, I mean it is. So they.
Oh God.
In the movie, all these monsters and stuff are real, but they have them in captivity, and they let. They let the teenagers unknowingly, or whoever did, they're college kids in that movie, but they let the college kids unknowingly decide their fate. So they open up this trapdoor, they go down in this basement, and there's just a bunch of cursed items. And so they basically go down there, and they're all fucking with stuff. And that's what's fun is there's like 6 different kids, and they're all got something different. And all the employees in the corporation have placed bets on who they think they're going to have to face. And so they're like, oh, and then finally the girl reads this book, and it brings this redneck family to life. They're zombies to kill them. And that's what ends up being their monster. But they end up like.
And then do they all die in the end? Is that?
So,
come on now, just cut to the chase. It's a horror film.
Yeah, so
come on now.
So there's
come on now.
The stoner, and the stoner survives, and he wasn't supposed to. The virgin was supposed to. It turns out to be a sacrifice to the gods. The gods in the movie are basically us as viewers. They're basically, they need to be entertained. They need blood. They need blood, like all this shit. And so, essentially, this corporation. They're performing a ritual for the god. The virgin needs to last until the end, and then they sacrifice the virgin. Yeah. Because that's what happens in horror movies, especially like 80s movies. You have the final girl. Well, the virgin survives till the end, at least. She usually is the survivor. She's the final girl. Yeah. And so there's the final girl, but the stoner survives against all odds. Mm-hmm. And at the end, the coolest part about that movie is when they find an elevator hidden in the woods where they are. Chris Hemsworth is in the movie. Yeah. But they find this elevator. It goes downstairs, and they find all these monsters like locked up, and it is pretty scary. And at one point, they release them all on the security for the corporation. So there's a scene where they're looking for the people. All the doors open, and all these monsters just get let loose. And there's a flying bat. There's like crazy shit. Everything that you've ever seen in a horror movie. There's mermaids. So
it gets flipped on the
corporation.
They all die.
So like there's like one guy that just really wanted the mermaids to be the bad guy, and he gets killed by a mermaid at the end. He's like, oh, and then the mermaid eats him.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a fun movie.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
I should have stayed. I think I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was like, I'm going to be scared. I laughed. I was like, I don't want to be scared.
You don't fuck with horror movies?
I don't like being scared. I don't like it.
I like it.
I like it.
I also like spicy food. Maybe it's
I love spicy food, though.
Maybe it's a masochistic thing.
Yeah, dude. You should check in with your family. There's nothing like appealing about like, oh, I can't sleep tonight because I'm terrified of some fictional bullshit I just watched.
I don't think I'm not scared of it because I don't believe, I'm not religious or anything, so I don't think any of it's real.
Whoa, do you think Christians think horror films are real?
I think that a lot of Christians are hesitant to watch The Exorcist and The Conjuring and things with demons?
Oh no, demons don't bother me. What makes me sick to like my stomach, like sick and like mentally disturbed is like I saw the trailer for the movie Tusk and I wanted to throw up just watching the trailer. And
Directed by Kevin Smith.
Hell yeah, brother! Like that, like I could also like the thought of like Human Centipede like makes me ill, like sick.
Body horror.
Yeah, like body horror in particular, like I'm also, dude, I'm a bitch about gore.
Mm-hmm.
Gore, like on TV, gore in real life, I'm okay with, because I used to do like, I don't know, I did like a bunch of like first aid stuff growing up too. I was like a lifeguard, so like real life, I'm great around it. Actually, I'm always like, I have like a, I've helped people out, but
yeah, well, in horror movies, it's never just a little bit of blood. It's gnarly. It
always it fucks with me, and I know, and I'm not like, I want to clarify something because I hate when people do this shit when they're like, I don't like horror films because I think they're simplistic, overly done, like too easy, blah
Shout
blah
out
blah.
Lemaire Lee.
Really? Is he one of those guys? I like Lemaire.
He was.
Dude,
I
what
love
a bitch.
Lemaire. He was a great interview.
They're just elementary films. No, dude. I am scared of gore. I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, oh, it's cinematically simple. It's like, no, I think some of them are actually like beautiful films. Like Tarantino does a lot of gore, and I think like I can watch Tarantino films, but like, you know what I mean? I just like, I'm like, ugh. I'm truly just like a fucking fifth grader.
So you didn't see Tusk? You just saw the trailer?
No, it literally disgusted. Like I literally like the thought of it. Like literally like disgusts me.
My friend Melissa actually messaged me. She's watched the podcast and she messaged me.
She actually is a walrus.
She, folks. She messaged me and she said, hey, you remember that time you made us watch Tusk and it was awful? And I was like, I don't remember the last part. I remember it being a fun movie, but apparently I made my friends watch it and they all hated it except for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the worst. That's my biggest. One time in high school at a sleepover, I made all my friends watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And they were like, to this day, they're like, that movie fucking sucks so much, and I loved it.
I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I thought they were going to think I was really cool and had good taste.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so good, and they were like, this is gay. And I was like, damn it.
I showed it to my girlfriend recently, and I don't think she liked it either.
What? It's just smart and like funny. It
is smart and funny, but Scott Pilgrim is unlikable as a character. At the beginning, he's
that's Michael Cera.
Yeah, but at the beginning, he's dating a high schooler, and then
yeah, I forget about
and
that.
And then the whole thing is he's cheating on her. He's kind of a bad. And then he said, I mean, the whole character is supposed to be a piece of shit, and he has a redeeming arc at the end. But
you kind of forget about the important plot lines. I just love the amount of like visual gags.
Yeah, and then the video game references and stuff. The visual gags, the fight scenes are fun.
I love my favorite scene in the movie is when Knives, the high school girl, shows up to the house and goes, "Tell her I'm not here." And the roommate opens the door and goes, "Scott's not here." And then you see Scott
jump out of the window. Yeah, I love. He orders that Amazon. Oh, I love. There's several scenes when he gets the email from the first ex, Matthew Patel or whatever. And he's like reading like Fight to the Death and all this stuff. He goes, this is boring. Delete. And then when he orders the package from Ramona, they actually filmed that scene 100 times of him taking the package and tossing it behind him and it landing in the trash can. That was actually done.
That's
so they filmed it 100 times of him grabbing the package, just tossing it, grabbing the package, and it kept missing. And finally, they got a good shot of him tossing it. Edgar Wright directed that. He also did Shaun of the Dead.
I think I need to watch Edgar Wright stuff because I like what I've seen of his so far.
Maybe Driver is good.
Maybe I'd enjoy Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, I think you would enjoy Shaun of the Dead. Very silly. It would be dipping your toe into horror. It's a fun.
I'm edging horror.
Yeah, edging horror. Yeah, we could do Cabin in the Woods. We could do that one. Another of my favorites is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Also silly and fun and kind of turning horror on its head.
I've had a lot of my friends talk about it. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head.
It's two rednecks in the woods. One of them is Alan Tudyk. I don't remember the other guy's name. I love Alan Tudyk.
Oh, I think I've seen part of this movie.
Yeah, and so it starts off as these college kids going out in the woods, and you see these two rednecks that you think are about to kill him, but then the plot flips, and now you're from the point of view of the rednecks, and they're just going out to their cabin that's creepy as fuck.
Classic.
That they bought. It's their vacation home. They're fixing it up, and these college kids go out there, and one of them knocks herself out. They're fishing at night, and they see this girl knock herself out, and they save her. Mm-hmm. She like jumps off, jumps in the water, hits her head.
Is it zombies?
No, it's just these kids. They
just keep killing themselves, and now they're like,
yeah,
oh,
they
no.
accidentally kill themselves.
Oh,
there
no.
is like one of the kids tells a ghost story, or
Classic.
a story about these hillbillies that killed all these people in the woods, and then fast forward, you see Tucker and Dale. They're just trying to have a good time, drink beers and fish and hang out and fix up their vacation home.
Classic.
These college kids go out to the woods. They save this girl. All the other college kids see them. It's very funny. They see them pulling them into their boat, and then Tucker yells out, "We got your friend! We got your friend!" And they're like, "Shit, they got her!"
That's funny.
And they go away, and they take care of her. One of them falls in love with her, and
Classic.
they give her breakfast and stuff, and they play Trivial Pursuit, and the kids try to save her. Instead of going, they're like, "We'll take care of you until your friends come and get you." But they come at it like, "We're about to kill these rednecks that took our friend."
Okay.
And they are fucking idiots, and they all keep accidentally killing themselves.
Got it. Yeah.
One of the kids went and hurled himself in the wood chipper. It's a good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then there's like a whole thing with one of the kids is a psychopath.
Oh, classic.
And so he's the one leading the charge and telling them, "Yeah, we got to kill these hillbillies."
Yeah.
And he ends up being the bad guy.
Okay.
And
That's
there's a big
interesting.
showdown between Dale and him at the end.
Classic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's very funny.
And because Dale's all scared to talk to women and stuff, and he has a big like hero moment at the end
Where he talks to a woman.
where he
You're
basically
just gonna
admits
ruin
to
this
himself
film.
that he loves this girl and he saves her life, and they end up together.
Love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really good movie.
Sorry about
I'm
all your
spoiling a
friends
bunch of horror
dying.
movies.
It's
on here.
okay.
I guess it doesn't matter. All these came out in like late 2000s.
Yeah, if you haven't seen these movies, that's on you.
Yeah,
That's on you,
I think
dude.
Cabin in the Woods might be 2005.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're fun. I enjoy the movies. I just, you know what it is I think I did a lot of time like camping growing up. Like I was in the Scouts, brag. And, I really like a good cabin in the woods. I like staying in cabins. I don't want to have an irrational fear associated with cabins because I really enjoy cabins.
Did you ever go to one that was supposed to be haunted, or have you ever been anywhere that was supposed to be haunted?
Yeah, I mean, I have ghost stories. I've had ghost encounters. My childhood home, I think, was haunted. My childhood home was now it's like 130 years old, so it's like an old home in Iowa, and like this is the most vanilla of ghost stories, but also like I grew up in like Scouts, and I worked at the Boy Scouts National Scout Camp, and that camp, we had all these like kids from all over the U.S. come, and they would share like their camping ghost stories, and there is something so crazy of like it was deep in the Appalachian Mountains, and I just remember like walking the woods at night because I worked in like a division of the camp where I would be up like later than everyone else, and so like I was always taught as camping that you shouldn't use your flashlight at night. You should let your eyes adjust so that way you can see in the dark. And there was a shortcut to where so it was in a mountain, and essentially most of the stuff was over there. The campers were here, and there was this mountain, but you could take this pass around the mountain to get to the staff campsite quicker, but it was in the woods. It wasn't like on a main road because they had paved or like gravel roads for like camp vehicles.
Okay.
There's this path that kind of went closer. You could save a lot of time. And I would always shower in the warm staff showers. I didn't want to use the cold camper showers, so I was committed to it. And I just remember like 2 or 3 times, I remember I was like walking in the woods, like at night, pitch black, deep in the Appalachian Mountains, and I just like I could feel someone was watching me, like that, like I was not alone. Like there was like a bear nearby, or like something else was in the woods with me. You know what I mean? Like you can feel it in a very. I remember like on a few occasions. One time I just remember like I was like walking this trail. I was all alone, and I just remember like my eyes started. I started crying because I was like, I am not alone, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what this thing is, but I'm alone in the woods in the middle of the night, deep in the fucking Appalachian Mountains. Nothing. No one would hear me scream. Like I just remember I just started like the fear of like I was in pitch blackness, and another like half a mile to go either way to get back. Like I couldn't get off the path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
What, in your mind, now, is it just the unknown that scares you? Or in your mind, what's the gnarliest thing that could have been out there? What do you think was out there?
Well, there was like, so I've told the story in like another podcast before, but I'll tell it here. Like, so the camp lived next to a town called Thurmond, West Virginia. If you ever get the chance, go on YouTube. There's a video of a car driving the path to Thurmond, West Virginia. It's like a really low quality video. But Thurmond was a town with population 7, and it's in like a lot of like books because the main street through Thurmond is a railroad. There's no like, you literally, like, if a train goes through Thurmond, you have to jump inside of a building, otherwise you're gonna get hit by the train. Like, the town is built like right on the train tracks.
It's currently down to only 3 people now.
Really?
Yep, population 3 according to the 2022 census.
Yeah. So
Wow.
so the national parks are trying to buy out Thurmond. So there's a rule where you can't move to Thurmond. So there's just people left there. But we would drive out to Thurmond at night, and on the way there, and like Southern West Virginia is so poor because all the mines owned everything. So like essentially the mines are like these communes where you lived in a company house, you had company money, company scrip. And then when the mines left, people realized that they had this fake mine money, not real U.S. money, so they just got stuck in West Virginia because they were like, oh, we were paying company money for the company store, going to company schools, using our company house. And then the mines left, and they go, well, we have monopoly money, a house that we don't own. The mine owns it, and the schools weren't government schools. They were company schools, and the grocery stores were company stores. So they lost all their stores, all their schools, and they didn't have real money. So the people that are poor in West Virginia just live there. So there was all these like abandoned company houses on the way down there, and some people still lived in them. Like, they were just homeless people that like they were like, this is, and no one stopped them. It was in Southern West Virginia. Like, no one was going to stop them. So one night, this is a story. It's 2 people. I was not there, but we heard the story so many times, and I was there for the second part. You'll find out. So 2 of my friends, one of them had a girlfriend back at home, and you know he was in the back of a car with one of the pretty ladies on the staff, and you know, friend Ernesto was driving, and
what a good pal.
He kind of, dude, what a dog, dude. I loved Ernie, dude. Ernesto's driving there in the back, and they start, you know, making out, and he has a girlfriend back home. He's like cheating on her, and hot, dude. Come on, you're 19. You're 19 years old. This is hot. Okay, so they're making out, right? And he's driving down to Thurmond because we'd get fucking wasted at the sandbars in the New River Gorge. Beautiful, dude. We get wasted in like just the mountains. And there's a little sandbar, and it was, oh god, it was amazing. It was like the time of our lives in fucking West Virginia, dude. And so there's this abandoned house. Some people lived in them, and there's one of the houses has like a light on, like a lantern on, and this lady comes out in like a white like nightgown with and she's just pale and old, and she's walking out, and Ernesto sees her, and he's like, oh, if I didn't, okay, that's crazy, you know, because whatever. And she walks in the middle of the road with like the lantern, like an old timey like oil lantern. They remember being like, well, they still used outhouses, so like it wasn't out of place for someone to like still be using an oil lantern out here, you know. And this lady just stands in the road and stares at them, says nothing, and Ernie's like, hey ma'am, can you move? We're just going down, you know, we'll be quiet. I'm sorry, the music was too loud. And she just stood there and stared at them. This old lady, and she just stared at them. And Ernie's like, hey man, we're gonna go. And finally, like the other 2 are like, what's going on? They stopped making out. And the second they stop making out, like, apparently this lady just like leaves. And they kind of like move. They're like, that's weird. Like,
they see her walk away. She doesn't.
She goes into the house. She just she gets off the road and just like walks back into her house. And they're like, what the fuck was that? So they go down, they party at the sandbar, they come back. And on the way back, they realize the house is like completely dark, like no lights at all. And so that happened the first year I worked there. Now, the second year I worked there, we hear this story, and they're like, dude, like, that's crazy. You know, that's crazy. That happened. This lady in fucking this white, you know, night robe. And so there's like historic, so it's next to Glen Jean, West Virginia, which has this like historic society there, because it's next to this national park. And we're like, dude, we want to know about this house right here on the way down to Thurmond. Who lives there? Who is this lady? And the guy goes like, no one's lived there in 70 years. And we're like, okay, but like there's someone squatting there. And he goes, no, dude. He goes, trust me, I checked. We know the ones people are living in. He goes, that there's like no one in that block of that whole block of houses. No one is there. And we're like, we've never seen anyone there. And we had never seen anyone there either. And we were like, interesting. So we were like, well, who lived there last? And he was like, well, in the late 70s, this old widow lived there after her husband and kids died of food poisoning. And we were like, her husband and kids died of food poisoning? And he goes, yeah. And we were like, whoa. Yeah. And then we were like, and then he was like, And the guy like turned to us and he goes, "Did you see the lady in white?" And we were like, "No way." And he was like, "Yeah, dude, like if she like," and then like we looked it up, like lady in whites is like a very common type of ghost, I guess, where it's like if a lady kills people, like she will like, if her husband was unfaithful, she will like haunt people and like white robes. It's like a nationwide, it's a very common type of ghost, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was there when we were at the historic side when we were like putting it all together, and I just remember like goosebumps up the arms. It was like, oh my, that was a lady in white.
Yeah, it says legend has it that the human white lady lady in white either killed herself in grief or died alone and heartbroken.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was something like so whatever. But her husband and kids died of food poisoning, and then she went out and died in that home.
Damn.
So that I remember like that was like a moment in my life where I was like, whoa,
that's gnarly.
So I think just like growing up in like the Scouts and like especially the time in West Virginia, we swapped so many ghost stories and like, you know, just like you'd hear them from all over the country because kids would come and just being deep in like the Appalachian Mountains, like there was just other forces at play. Like you could just feel it, and I'll fucking sound gay about it, but like truly, like it was like insane. Is there
another ghost story that stands out to you that's carved into your brain?
Oh yeah, I've seen a ghost. I did, and people, I don't know. It's so lame to talk about because I want to not believe in ghosts.
That's what this podcast is, baby.
I want to not believe in ghosts. I've
just never seen one.
I've told the story before. I think this is crazy, but I was a camp counselor in Iowa, and it was on the Wapsipinicon River, named after the two Native American tribes, Wapsi and Pinikin, and they lived on opposite sides of the rivers. It was the whole thing. So the camp we were at like kept expanding in Iowa, and we got closer and closer to the river. And the staff cabins was like right next to like the end of like the staff cabins were here and the rest of the camp was like over here. The staff cabins was close to the river, and they kept like expanding and adding like new stuff on towards closer and closer to the river. That's why they kept doing all the new developments. And they realized there was like all these like rolling mounds, and like I don't know, like 2010, like all the staff had all these like ghost stories of like a blue Native American man who they'd see at night. Kind of like wandering around in like a headdress, and sometimes he had a dog with him, but usually it's a Native American guy in a blue headdress, the blue Indian. And because we said Indian, we're in Iowa.
Of course.
Sorry, Native American.
The blue engine.
Well, so this story had been going on for like years. The staff was like, hey, like we make up ghost stories for the kids, but this is like one that's like real, you know? And I had friends who had seen the blue Indian, and they were like, dude, it's like crazy. And I was like, whatever. And long story short, like years later, like, I don't know, like so like a few years before I started working in there, they were like, hey, you know those mounds next to the river? It's like the biggest Wapsipinicon burial site. These are all Native American mounds. These are all like, and so there's like literally like hundreds. And so they can't like stop developing there because they realized they were literally like about to build onto like all these like essentially
ancient Indian
graveyard, like a giant, like a mass graveyard, and it's right where the staff cabin was next to it.
Pet cemetery. That's like a horror movie trope.
Oh really? Yeah, it's so funny.
Like Indian burial grounds. Yeah.
Oh, and we were in it, dude. Anyway, I get fired from this camp. They lay me off like a day, and they're like, hey, you have a day before you fucking have to go. And me and my friend were just like, dicking. So they're like, because they had to cut staff at the end of the summer because they didn't have the money, and it was just during cleanup week, so they cut like half the staff. So my friend and I, we get laid off, and we go over out to that area. We're like, oh, we're going to take care of the campsite over there that's like abandoned because they couldn't develop there anymore. We'll go clean it before we leave. But we were just eating fucking pistachios on the campsite. And we were just eating pistachios all day. Like, we didn't clean up shit. We hadn't so much. We probably would have gotten it. I don't know. We didn't check it. And so we were like, and then at nighttime, like, who wants to do a night shift? Like, yeah, we'll do over there, you know.
Right.
And I'm sitting down on top of a park bench. So I'm sitting on like the eating part of the bench, and my friend's like sitting on the ground, and we're just talking. Like, we've been hanging out there all day. And I just remember he turns like white in the face, and he goes, huh, huh, and we could hear like wolf sounds all around us, you know. I was like, oh my gosh. And I go, a wolf? And he goes, behind you. And I turn to my left, and there's like this, like, I don't know, like probably like this far away, like on the opposite side of the bench, just a blue Native American man, like face
that close,
like literally like 3 feet, like within, like I could have touched him, and in like headdress. And as I look over, his body is like disappearing, like it just like it goes up. All that's left is the head, and then we see it goes like this blue ball, and it like out into the woods, like right outside of the pavilion we're at.
Like flew,
like it whoosh, and then it reforms, and now it's just like this black figure of a man. He's like squatting, and he looks at us and like holds it, and then it's like gone. And my friend claims that he was like walking up behind me, and he didn't know what to do. He was like, this guy was like walking, he like, the next thing I remember is I just remember like we were just running. Like there's just like, there's that, and then
to fight or flight.
We just ran. We see it, and we just like look at each other, and we just ran. I just remember we were running. Like we were like, I literally like, he was like kind of small, so I remember like I think we crossed arms, and I kind of was like carrying him almost. And I just remember like
his little feet kicking.
Yeah, dude, it was so funny. And he was like super Catholic. He was doing prayers the whole time too. It was so funny. He was like super Catholic. And he was doing prayers. It was so funny. I was like, that's the wrong faith.
at the beginning of the story, I was like, well, what if some Native American still lives out there?
No. It was for sure like not a person. It was for sure like a glowing blue. Like glowing blue.
I'm gonna believe in ghosts by the time I stop recording this podcast.
Like,
you're a person who I trust, and
this is not a made up story.
I do not believe.
I get goosebumps every time I tell it. I literally, it's like insane. It's crazy.
That's really fucking cool.
It was pretty fucking sick. But I thought like before that, I was like, ghosts are so cheesy and lame. I was like, what bullshit? Like, there's always like, I was very much like the camp of like, I think there's rational. Like, if you're in a cabin in the woods,
That's what I would. Yeah.
There's animals, there's sounds in the woods, trees are falling, branches.
And your brain plays tricks on you. But the fact that you had a friend with you that also saw, like, if he was sitting right there, he would attest.
Well, I remember, yes, yeah, Alex Salisbury was his name, and I just remember, I the first night I said, so what did you see? I remember I was like, what did you see? What did you see? And he was like, he walked in next to you, he disappeared, went into the woods, kneeled, and I was like, yep, okay. I was like, that's it, man. And then, dude, I was just talking to my friend. He was a comedian. He quit doing comedy in Chicago. He lives in El Paso now. One time we were driving home. This story's fucking weird because we have no explanation for this. We were driving home. We did Dubuque, Iowa. They opened up a new comedy club out there, Comedy Bar. It was brand new. We drove out and we're going to do the first ever open mic, try to get in front of the bookers. And on the way back, it was me, him, Brody, the other guy. And we were driving back, and there was like in the middle of the road, there was just a plane like hovering, like I don't know, like it was like a passenger plane, but it was like maybe like, I don't know, like 30-40 feet above the road, just like hovering in the middle of the road. There was a plane, and it was like, why is that plane so low? And there was no noise, there was no engine sound. It was just a plane in the middle of that, like hovering, like it wasn't moving. And we drove past it, and we were like, what is this? It's just a plane? And it was like this ghost plane. It was like he came down here and he was like, do you remember that plane we saw that was just like in the middle of the road? And I was like, that wasn't just like, I have no explanation of what, there was just a plane. I literally can't describe. I sound insane right now.
Do you think it was aliens? I
don't know what it was, but it was like a human, I mean, presumably like a human plane. I just remember it was just there like stuck almost in time. And we were just like, why is there a plane here? We were like, why is it in the middle of the road? And we just like kind of like drove underneath it, and it was just like, well, like we were just like, we didn't even panic. We were just like, well, that didn't make any sense. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was like a passenger plane, just like hovering, and it wasn't any sound. It felt like a Gary's mod, like a video game glitch, where we were like, huh, someone's got to patch that.
Real life Gary's mod is hilarious.
Like, what the hell?
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I literally just ran into him, and he brought it up, and I was like, dude, like I forgot about that. It felt like there was like, we live in a simulation, dude.
Yeah, you saw a glitch in the Matrix.
It was me and Brody also saw it. Because afterwards we called our friend Brody, and he confirmed. He was like, yeah, dude, that was, and we weren't like scared. It was just like, we were just like, oh, it's like 1 a.m. Like we were like, well, we must be tired. But all three of us saw the same thing. It was very
what
like. What
could that have been? What do you think that?
I literally don't know.
It must. You're okay with not knowing.
It must have just been like a plane. Like, I don't know. You just, I cannot. Like, I remember like we kind of like freaked out a little afterwards. We were like, well, that was like. It must have just been a plane that was just stationary and not making any noise. And then like, I don't know, like 30 feet, like a 3-story building's height above us. I just remember being like, oh, it's pretty low. I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's a weird one, man.
Oh, shit. Well, we got to get you to the airport soon. I'm going to ask a couple more questions. These ghost stories were, I didn't know you were full of these.
Yeah, that's why I don't watch horror films.
There's someone on Reddit who wrote a story about their husband's a pilot, and they said that they were trying to land at a small, I can't find where this happened at, but it was at a small airport, and they said there was like a tiny passenger plane hovering over, and they tried to land, and the passenger plane like pulled in front of them, and they had to go back up, and they freaked out and like landed and were like, dude, what the fuck? Like one of your plane left. They're like, there's been no other planes here today. We don't know. And they're like, no, we saw the tail number. It was like 1911. And they looked it up, and that plane had died years ago in a crash.
Really?
Yo.
And this was written 4 months ago by someone who's in r/ghosts.
Dude,
Now I
now
gotta- now-
I have
now-
goosebumps. That just gave me goosebumps. Because I swear to God, I just remember we were like, what the fuck is that? I wonder if we could find. I have no idea where it was. I mean, I can tell you like the roads we were on. I wonder if there was like a crash along the roads from like Dubuque to Chicago. Because like, I just remember being like, it was just so like, we were just like, oh, that's like, that is there. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a matter of like, how is that possible? We were just like, well, that is weird that is so out of place, that thing.
You know what's scarier than one ghost?
What?
A passenger plane full of ghosts.
Oh, fuck.
So many
Oh, no, that is so coordinated.
ghosts. So many ghosts.
I mean, that guy's got a pilot license. But I just, yeah, we were just like, there's a phantom plane. I don't know how to describe it. It was just like a very like just like, it was like just a very matter of, you know what I mean? Because like, the thing about like these experiences is like, it's not like it just happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like there is no second guessing the thing. It's like, you're just there and your mind kind of can't process the thing you're seeing. Like, I remember like the Blue Indian situation. I just remember being like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I didn't know reality could exist like this. Like, you just like your mind kind of breaks.
Yeah.
Like, same with the plane. Like, we weren't scared. It was just like, oh, okay.
That shouldn't be right there.
Like that. That's just, and it's just sitting there. It's just like, it was just in the sky, kind of just like, it was like, oh, that's weird that there's like just a plane. Yeah,
They just
dude.
parked it right there.
Yeah, well, it just didn't. I was like, oh, it's like stalled or something. I don't know. I mean, it could have very well been like, but like none of the lights were on too. It was like a dark.
Ghost plane.
It was like, oh, that's weird that a plane's there. Yeah, it was very weird.
Damn. Well, now these last two questions are going to seem boring after that.
That's okay.
What
This
scared
podcast hasn't been very fun. I'm sorry. Usually I'm pretty funny on podcasts.
No, it's been fun. I don't know. I mean, funny moments happen naturally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's boring to listen to.
Well, thank you.
I just let the funny happen naturally. I
Yeah.
was mad at myself after you said the old lady of mine thing. I was like, I should have riffed a joke or something.
Yeah, dude.
But
Yeah, no, I just that was like such. I remember like hearing the story from them, and it was like, well, that's crazy. And then like going to the place and be like, that house has been abandoned for like, and her husband and kid both died from food poisoning. And we were like, did she poison her husband and kid for cheating? For cheating, and then the kid also died. Maybe, I don't know. Like, there's like the scenarios that play in your head are like insane.
what scares you about Matt Banwart?
I don't know. Scare?
Does anything scare you about yourself? Do you get worried that you're gonna?
I fear that I'll take a joke too far. That I'll say something and it'll be too hurtful for the person.
Have you done that before?
I've done that. I've said something into the wrong person at the wrong time, and I feel bad about it. I'll be like, oh no, because like sometimes like I used to run roast battle like you said, and I grew up with brothers, and sometimes when you mean to be like funny with roast, I just come off as really mean, and I don't. I feel bad about that every time.
Yeah, it is hard as someone who's 5-1 in official roast battle. It's hard to ride that line between silly and fun, and also like you want to be mean,
Sometimes I just go.
but
mean.
you want it to be funny too.
Yeah, I don't like being mean. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'll do it, and I'll be mean.
I do. I have mixed feelings about it. I guess I'm doing well at them, but it is like a weird thing because
Yeah.
I like all the people that I roast.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? I just roasted Jimmy Moynihan, and I love Jimmy.
I love Jimmy too.
All right, one more. Are you afraid to die?
I don't. Yeah, I think I have. There's things I want to do.
You're afraid to die right now.
Yeah.
Are you scared of the idea of death in general? Like, are you scared of what could happen or couldn't happen afterwards?
I remember as a kid, I used to like I would call my parents in the bedroom when I was like a really, I don't know, like elementary school, and I'd be like, what is death? I remember like I would talk to my parents about it all the time, and they're like, none of the other two brothers didn't do that. They're like, but you would always be like explain to me. Like I was like so afraid of mortality as a kid, like third grader.
That's pretty deep for a third grader.
I'd be like, what is death? But like, what if there is no God? And so I don't know. I don't think I'm afraid of the idea of death. I'm afraid of living a life unfulfilled with the potential that I have. How's that for you?
That's good shit.
Is that's how I feel. I feel like I don't know when I'm gonna die, but I'm afraid of dying the way that hurts. I don't want to hurt.
Yeah.
But
what would be your least favorite way? Oh, good. Go ahead. What was your thought that you just had?
Oh, my least favorite way of dying?
Yeah. What would be the least favorite way to go out?
Just something stupid, something embarrassing.
That's what Cam said.
Really?
Yeah. He was like, falling and like hitting your neck on a coffee table or whatever.
Yeah, that would just suck. It'd be like, if I'm gonna die, I want it to be cool. I think it's the dream of dying in a hospital bed surrounded by your loved ones when you've come to peace with the earth.
Yeah, when you're you've already done everything you were gonna do, and
I love when old people, they get so old that they're just like okay with death.
Yeah,
I'll call my grandma and it's like a little morbid, but she'll be like, well, someday I'm gonna pass, I guess, and I guess I'm ready. All my friends have kind of gone, and she'll just be like, well, the ethereal's out there, and I'm a good Christian woman, so I'm excited to be up in heaven with my husband and all my pals making Jello salads. She goes, and we lost some good pigs. I hope my favorite pigs are up there. She's just like so happy.
There's some pigs. Yeah, there's pigs in her heaven, I bet.
She'll be like, I can't be waiting until I'm in shape to garden again really good and it not hurt. And I'm like, oh, okay, Grandma.
Pigs are really smart. If any animal's going to be in heaven, there's dolphins and pigs in heaven, probably.
All
pigs go to heaven.
All pigs go to heaven.
All right. We'll end it right there. I'll take you to the airport. I love you. Thank you for doing this.
Love you too. Bye.
Spooky fun time.